As I said in my earlier video, little island most people don't know anything about. I want to give you a little bit of history on Mayaguana, just so you have an idea of the importance of it. It's the easternmost Bahamian island. I wrote down some notes, you'll see me looking down. It's 62 miles from Turks and Caicos. It's actually a boat ride. You can go from Mayaguana to Turks and Caicos with very little effort. It sits 350 miles away from Nassau, Nassau being the the capital of all of the Bahamas. I already told you it's a halfway point between Florida and Puerto Rico. There was actually a U.S. missile tracking base there at one point. It was called Project Mercury. And what it was as the Thor rockets were being tested and launched out of Cape Canaveral, they needed real time information on the rockets. So they set up actually a missile tracking base in Mayaguana that was used through the 1950s up into, I believe, the 60s. There's a 10,000 foot Air Force runway that was built by the Army there. It's about half of that size now. Mayaguana actually uses the U.S. Air Force runway that's left as a runway for their airport. There are three settlements: Betsy Bay, Abraham's Bay, Pirates Well, as I said. Oh, it's also the only island left out of all of the Bahamian islands that still has its original Arawak Indian name. All of the other islands have been renamed. Mayaguana is actually the original name from the Indians that were there. It's supposed to be a favorite base of a lot of pirates there in the Caribbean because, again, it's right next to Turks and Caicos, Puerto Rico, and not that far from Hispaniola. And also, the part that I thought is interesting, there's a monument on a mountain, on a hill on the island. The monument talks about a rocket, how they recovered a nose cone there. I looked into it one time after I came back from Mayaguana, and there was a Thor missile that was shot into space. While it was shot into space in the 1950s, it took the first color pictures or first color images of the U.S. That capsule was recovered in Mayaguana. The very first color pictures of our world were recovered in Mayaguana. There's actually a lot more to this island. Like I said, 108 square miles. Really, if you want to get away from everything, it's the place to go. Beaches that haven't been touched in years. Everything is seafood, obviously. It's easier to catch the food. You'll have conch, lobster, fish. That's really the main staple there. The fishing is incredible. The one hotel that I spoke about over in Pirates Well, you can basically walk out and bonefish. The bonefish are insane. A lot of sea life, a lot of beautiful things to explore. A small cave system that I went into. It's one of those islands worth helping. Everything is worth helping. This has a little more dear and near to my heart because my family's on the island. I also plan on being there as much as I can when I retire. So just to let you know a little bit about who you're helping.